Not long ago, I served up some spicy tea on why Japanese bikes are better than their Eurobro counterparts, and man, was there some heartburn after that video. Hell, I'm still feeling the burn. But guys, it was hard for me too. As a diehard Triumph lover myself, it was maddening having to face the fact that there are just some things that Japanese manufacturers take the trophy on. This time, my sweet little yam patties, today we're going to look at 5 reasons European bikes beat their Japanese competitors harder than a teenage boy who's just discovered his first bottle of Jergens. The Japanese market might have taken first for sales, servicing, and general availability. Go back and watch 5 reasons Japanese bikes are better than European bikes for the full lowdown. But there are some awards that just look better on European bodies. While Japan seems to focus more effort on mass-producing affordable ways to get the developing world on 2 wheels, Europe continues to fill the desire for high-end recreational toys. They produce a lower volume of luxury motorcycles at a higher price point, but man, they are worth it. Ducati, Triumph, Moto Guzzi, and even the big orange KTM, shiver me timbers. There are a lot of great European makes out there, but let's be honest, we all know that Ducati and Triumph have us running for our own bottle of Jergens. How many masturbation jokes are going to be in this one? A lot. Hello, baby yams. It is I, the great and irreverent Papa Yam, condescender of all fans, at least according to the comment section on the last video. We are back at it once again, bringing you videos that broaden your minds, expand your 2-wheel loving notions, and even provide a drop of entertainment throughout your day. If I keep spoiling you like this, there won't be anything left to surprise you with for Christmas, or Hanukkah, or whatever super cool gift-giving holiday you celebrate in December. If we keep churning out quality content like this, you are going to be so disappointed by the gifts everyone else got you, because old Papa Yam cares enough to send you the very best. Or is that Hallmark? Moving on. Today's video is supported by the good people over at Manscaped. Now, if you've seen my latest uploads, you know I love me a smooth nutsack. What did you just say, Yammie? Yes, a smooth yet refined nutsack, much like the throttle feel on a Triumph Daytona 675R.
Oh my god, those balls are as smooth as eggs.
Manscaped is the only brand dedicated to below-the-waist grooming and hygiene. They've got this amazing clipper with a ceramic blade that's guaranteed to not nick or cut. Seriously, it's kind of amazing. For a limited time, my sweet subscribers get 20% off their Manscaped order by using the code YAM20 at checkout. And if you get the perfect package, you're looking at free shipping too. Take care of your nuts, boys. Use Manscaped's products. You can thank me later. All right, let's talk about bikes. Up first in today's listicle, starring European bikes laying the ultimate throwdown on their Japanese opponents, heritage. Now you might be thinking, God, what a cliche starting off with heritage, seriously. But hear me out. There's something to be said about the history and soul of European motorcycles. They've got that extra je ne sais quoi that you can't put your finger on, but somehow you still know it's there. It's not surprising that European bikes have that little bit of extra something though, especially since the first motorcycles were produced in the late 1800s in, you guessed it, Europe. A fun fact, the Japanese motorcycles post-World War II were almost literally copy-paste derivations of their European counterparts, the Yamaha YA1 Dragonfly, for example. 2 things you can clearly identify about Euro saddles is their style and performance. They aren't always the fastest bikes on the road, but they're definitely the most noticed, and they're pretty recognizable. Even though if you've seen my latest video on most powerful production motorcycles of 2019, European bikes are kind of leading the pack. But why are they so recognizable? Heritage, baby. It's all about the heritage. Take the Triumph Bonneville, for example. The Bonneville was first produced in 1959. That's almost 60 years ago, and it's still in production today. Sure, it's been modernized and had a few upgrades, but at its core, she's still just as much a Bonneville today as she was 60 years ago. There's no trend following, no Kardashian Instagram posts, just true blue European heritage driving the market as our sweet Lord and Savior intended. And that's Rossi, in case you don't know. Same thing with the bright red Ducati. You can spot it from a mile away. Alright, get your biscottis ready because it's time to talk about the second reason Euro bikes are better than their Japanese counterparts, also known as the 3 Fs. Fit, finish, and feel. Which seems like maybe that should be 3 items on this list, but hey, who's counting? We're counting, that too. If you've watched my video 5 reasons Japanese bikes are better than European bikes, and you should, you're already familiar with the Big 4 and how they were able to dominate the market. If you haven't seen the video, here's a light spoiler alert. Japan's Big 4 are Honda, Kawasaki, Suzuki, and Yamaha. They're known for mass-producing affordable bikes, and they do that pretty well. But this is where the great divide starts to occur between European models and Japanese models. European motorcycles aren't mass-produced like their Japanese counterparts. In fact, based on sales numbers over the past 5 years, Honda sells around 16 million motorcycles worldwide, where Ducati only sells about 44,000. Well, We know that the Honda isn't necessarily a better machine than Ducati, so what gives? A large portion of that can be explained by the fact that Japanese motorcycles service a huge portion of the Asian market. Small displacement, cheap motorcycles that don't serve some highfalutin call to ride, but are rather utilitarian in nature and exist to transport humans from one location to another on the cheap. Seriously, a 125cc bike in most Asian cities is going to deliver 99% of what you need. Furthermore, it's like comparing Ferrari sales to Lexus. Sure, they're both luxury vehicles, but the Ferrari is the epitome of luxury, performance, and of exclusivity. Fewer of them are made. Yes, they're more expensive, but they're also more handcrafted. They aren't mass-produced, and you won't see dozens of them if you drive through a heavily populated metropolitan area. Unless you're in the hoity-toity part of London, I hear there's tons of them around there. To put it another way, the fit, finish, and feel of European bikes are likened to that of a handcrafted piece of art, whereas a Japanese motorcycle is just a cold, lifeless piece of machinery making its way down the assembly line. But perk up, my dudes, because with the European motorcycle, you get something you won't find anywhere else: bragging rights. That's right, you get fully licensed and accredited in that douchebaggery bragging rights reserved for the hipsters, cafe racers, and Euro snobs. And who can fault them? I don't even have a Triumph anymore, and how many times do I talk about Triumph in my videos? It's a lot. They should cut me a check. Triumph, you should cut me a check. If you catch me drifting off into the sweet nothingness of the void, I'm more than often thinking about the induction howl of a Daytona 675R at full clip. And why do I waste my time dreaming such seamless dreams? Because it's a Triumph. Because with European bikes come bragging rights. Them's the rules. It's all lumped in with the payment plan, so you might as well get your money's worth. Ask me about my interest rate. LOL. Okay, seriously, European bikes come with bragging rights because they're just so damn cool. They've got that air about them. It's the same thing the cool kids have at school. You don't even have to talk to someone to know that they're the dominant kid. You just feel it. It's something you just know deep down in your acne-riddled childhood gut. So you give them your lunch money preemptively in the hopes that they won't shove you into a locker, pull your underwear over your head, and lock you in a weekend of fun. It's how when you're at a meetup and all of you young, nubile sweet squids are hanging around your 600cc Japanese bike, and then a bright red 1299 Panigale rolls up with enough big dick energy to flatten out that peaky power band your Yamaha has. So let's talk about that. Because European bikes are drenched in the cool factor. They're just so cool they're practically frozen. See what I did there? I'll be here all week. So the cool factor. Everyone and their mother has a Ninja or a Cowie, likely in that same metallic green because, hey, that's the primary color choice available. But think about the amount of Ninjas you've seen on the highway or interstate lately compared to the number of Triumphs you've seen, or the number of BMWs you've seen. Personally, I can't tell you the number of times I've pulled up to a gas station on my Triumph and someone wanted to ask me about it. But on my FZ09, never a peep. And maybe that's due to the fact that it was a naked bike versus a sport bike, but let me tell you, a whistling inline 3 covered in the finest plastics Great Britain has to offer, now that's something special. When something is mass-produced, it starts to lose its appeal value, which is a large reason European bikes maintain that exotic allure. They're the diamond in the rough, the unknown, the forbidden fruit, if you will. In a way, we've become so desensitized to Japanese motorcycles that just seeing them constantly is enough to make a European bike look better. I wonder maybe if Aprilia has any openings on their marketing team because I'm pretty sure I just struck gold. Maybe that's the endgame for old Yam. European manufacturers have an aggressive pursuit of perfection when it comes to their saddles, and the amount of love they put into making one of these babies is something you just feel deep down in your little souls. Speaking of perfection, I'd be a total noob if I didn't mention the primary reason, and my personal favorite reason, European bikes are just better. They have they have the best engine sounds. Steady yourselves, boys and girls, because it's time to rev some engines and talk about the gnarly purrs of some incredibly sexy stallions. There are 3 European bikes that completely take the cake when it comes to titillating engine sounds. And it's no surprise that, for my ears, the Aprilia RSV4 has to lead the pack. That bark when you rev it, that soft, husky purr when it's idling, it's almost enough to make you forget it's a machine. Almost. The Daytona 675 is also one of my personal favorites. It's got a great engine sound. Gone are the days of screaming high RPMs of a crotch rocket being pushed too far in low gear. The Triumph Daytona sounds like a bike should. It's throaty, smoldering, and again, that intake sound, Christ almighty. And of course, you have to mention the absolutely destructive sound of a KTM Super Duke 1290. And that's because I've also seen comments letting me know that I don't talk about KTM that much, which is true. I really don't. It's kind of weird. Okay, let's look at one more and then I've got to get off of these engine sounds because you can only reference finding a bottle of Jergens so many times before 1, you lose family-friendly status, and 2, Jergens has to start considering themselves a sponsor of the channel. They actually did not pay for this video, if you can believe it. The new Ducati V4R sky-high RPM limits are also enough to make a man fully torqued downstairs. At over 220 horsepower, it's quite literally race bike for the street sort of thing. But that's what I mean when we talk about European bikes. They have the uncanny ability to make us fall in love. And without them, Japan would just continuously trounce with their cold machines. And that's gonna do it for today's video, my dudes. What do you think about European bikes? Aren't you glad they exist and we're not just stuck inside of Japan's mortal coil? Let me know in the comments below. I always love hearing from you. And don't forget about our Patreon bike giveaway. Check out in the link in the description box below and find out how you can win the CB900 I'm restoring and how you can decide exactly how we're going to fix her up. Anything goes as long as it's within our $4,000 price budget, so hop on over there and get entered to win this beauty. I swear to God, we're going to finish. Seriously, I promise. Thanks again to Manscaped for sponsoring the channel. Guys, go and check them out. Get your nuts looking silky smooth. Use the code YAM20 at checkout for 20% off and cop that free shipping with the perfect package. I'll catch you guys next time. See you later. Fact: the word lethologica describes the state of not being able to remember the word you want. I definitely won't remember that one. Goodbye.